Kind of thing here is when I am ashamed to be a resident of Washington State. Washington bill to allow medical transgender interventions on minors without parental consent. Ever dealt with a teenager, maybe somebody going through puberty, and maybe their decision making isn't exactly clear? Maybe it doesn't have, the full thought process, or their brain just hasn't developed to that point where they can make a rational cognitive decision. How many folks, by that I mean, these folks going through these transgender deals, get the surgery done 20 years from now? Boy, I really, really wish I wouldn't have done that. How many of those are we going to have to go through? Because you've got knuckleheads like the folks in Washington going down this crazy train road. It's like, what are we doing? Instead of contacting parents, shelters can contact the Washington state government. Some of this stuff is just, you literally can't make this stuff. It's like, okay, minors don't have the best decision-making ability. I don't know if you've heard this. People in their mid-20s, late 20s don't. Sometimes in their 30s. A lot of men don't make decisions, most of their life, myself included, that make a lot of sense. We're just like, nah, I like doing this. I'm just going to continue doing this. It's bad for you, Sean. I don't care. It's what I'm doing. I'm a man. Yeah. I mean, just genius stuff like that, right? But this one, it'll allow medical transgender interventions on minors without the parent's consent. Yeah, this makes no sense at all. Welcome to Washington State. Now, the flip side is I got podcasts for days. Washington State bill that would strip parents' rights to intervene on their kids' medical care in certain circumstances. I'm sorry, little Johnny, you want to cut your dong off? Oh, okay. I'd like to intervene, but, state law says I can't. Just got, I know you're 13 and you got that whole hormone thing going on, and I trust you to make the right decision here. I would say probably don't do it as your dad, but, Washington State, it knows best. 5 years later, the kid's 18. Dad, why'd you let me do that? I think that's what you're headed for here, right? So the Washington State passed the House Wednesday, clearing the pathway to being signed by Governor Jay Inslee. This is terrible. This is awful. An act relating to supporting youth, or Senate Bill 5599, allows host homes for runaway youth to house youth without parental permission. Hey, come here, little guy. It'll be good in here. It'll be good. Be nice. Furthermore, the host homes do not need to notify parents about where their kids are or if they are getting medical interventions. Why? Why not? Why don't they want to have parents? I mean, they're treating parents like the bad guy and the state like the good guy. That's the way it feels, right? I don't know, but if you're a good parent, yeah, this kind of thing, this doesn't really come into play, right? Because your kid isn't going to be just going down these crazy roads to begin with. I mean, maybe they will, but it's your job as a parent. You know what I mean? It's your job as a parent to kind of guide them through life processes. That's literally your job as a parent. And the state of Washington is saying, nope, we got it. Just let your kid do whatever they want. I mean, we don't let our kids get tattoos without parents, permission. But, little Johnny, hey, cut that dong off. It's all good. Just go down that road. We're good with it. I mean, I'm sure it'll work out. I mean, mostly. If there is a compelling reason not to, which includes a youth seeking protected health services. When is that the case? When is that going on? When are we seeing that as a reality? How much of this is out there? I don't really know. And I am pretty confident percentage wise that there is no reason for a bill like this to be put forward other than you're just trying to get at the kids. And where's that going? There's a master plan in here somewhere, and it's not good, right? The protected healthcare services include gender-affirming care, which for minors arbitrarily included anything prescribed by a doctor to treat dysphoria, the bill said. All right. So now you got a bunch of doctors who are like, clippy clip, here we go. This will be great. You'll feel much better. You'll have less suicidal thoughts. Let's do this. Let's do this. I mean, girls having their, breasts taken off. I mean, really? Without their parents, you don't have to get the parents' permission. Doctor said it's okay. I understand you're really tripped out about this, so we want to help you, get the help you need. Here we go. Let's have some surgery. I mean, gender-affirming treatment can be prescribed to two-spirit, transgender, non-binary, and other gender-diverse individuals, the bill stated. Two-spirit. Two-spirit. I have two spirits, not one, two. Yeah. I mean, literally, what do you even say to this? For minors, affirming care typically included puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and surgeries. Man, you want to talk about, puberty blockers? You want to talk about castrating some kids? I mean, it was unclear which services would be approved under the bill. I think right now we're in a time period that we'll look back and go, yeah. Kind of like the whole defund the police thing. Yeah, not so much. That really didn't work out all that well, now did it? Instead of contacting parents, shelters can contact the Washington Department of Children, Youth, and Families instead. You ever hear of a kid tell stories about what their parents did because they didn't want to live with what their parents were telling them, because what their parents were telling them was something that was in their best interest? You ever hear of teenagers lying? You ever hear of prepubescent children lying? It's a thing. I gotta be honest. It's a thing. And the reason we are parents and they live with us until a certain point and then they go off and do their own thing is because they don't know how to navigate life. Now you're basically saying, hey, you guys need some puberty blockers. You need some cross-sex hormones or some surgeries. It's all good. It's all good. You're a runaway kid. We know you're making good decisions here. We know that you're looking to do this. It's fine. We got you. Got the state law. Come to Washington. It's what we're doing. So another compelling reason not to notify parents about kids staying in a host home was circumstances that indicate notifying the parent or legal guardian will subject the minor to abuse or neglect. Well, how about having their sexual organs, taken off and, down the road, them rethinking and reimagining that decision? What about that? Does that come in as abuse? Oh, it doesn't. That comes in as just a rational decision that these children have made. I'm a hard no-go. This makes no sense at all. But this is such a something that, state of Washington would do. We're doing it for the children. Really? Are you? Let them wait until they're 25 or something like that, till they get this done. Let them wait until they've gone through the full cycle of puberty. People mature different now. They mature way later. You're not having, kids making decisions to start families early on. You're just not. They're waiting longer and longer. They have less ability to deal with conflict. It's taken them longer and longer to get going. So do you want these kids just going down a whole bunch of trans whatever it is? I don't think so. And unfortunately, we're going to have to go down this road before we figure out, kind of like the whole defund the police movement. Greatest concept ever. Until it's clearly just not. And then those communities are like, we'd like to fund the police more. We need more officers because we're just getting torn apart. Don't have enough cops. And that's literally been the storyline, right? So the bill was criticized by opponents for being child abuse. Yeah, I would say that it goes down that road. The opposition said, according to the bill's text, a parent's job is to protect their child. This bill strips parents of that ability. Gender is in your imagination. This bill legalizes the kidnapping of children, allows for the harboring of minors, and segregates us from the union. It's crazy talk, right? After it passed the House, Democratic State Representative Tana Sen, who supported the bill, said, I am saying tonight to them that I see you, that I affirm you, that I hear you, that I love you, according to Town Hall, but you're not the parent and you are taking away that ability for the parent to help their kids. Not everybody has great parents. I get that. I understand that. But a decision this big where your child is no longer going to be able to procreate, I'm sorry, that probably needs some parental input. That's my thought. Yeah, anything less of that. After it passed the House, Democratic state, okay, whatever, we already said that. Tristan cut that. State Senate Republican leader John Brown blasted the bill for attacking parents' rights. The only thing the bill would do is cause harm by driving a wedge between vulnerable kids and their parents. Boom, done. You got kids that are just, I don't know how many kids I've heard of. Yep, I'm batting for the other team right now, and I'm just going to explore that. I want to see what's going on. Sometimes it happens at college. Sometimes it, happens in high school. But how many times do you hear those kids just, oh, that was a phase. I was exploring my sexuality. It was a phase. And then now you come out of that phase not being able to have children, and you don't have the right equipment for your, naturally born sex. You're just like, oh, yeah. You got all kinds of hormones that have been put through your body, whether it's, that whole thing, right? A parent may not even know why the child ran away and could involve law enforcement or other groups in a desperate search, all the while going through an unnecessary emotional nightmare, imagining the worst about what might have happened. Horrible. This is horrible. State of Washington. Other states, such as California, are considering legislation that would restrict parents' rights. Some critics have accused a bill of state-sanctioned kidnapping. That's what it kind of seems like. I would say it's harboring a fugitive minor. How about that? Because in any other case, kids got to go back to the parents. If there's abuse, that's one thing. But we're not talking about abuse. We're talking about a kid being able to have a conversation with their parents. And now that conversation is no longer there because the state has decided, well, if they want to do it, then let them do it. Because they're teenagers, and teenagers always have their own best interests at heart in everything that they do. Oh, they don't? Maybe that's why I was such a poor father, right? No. I spent a lot of time with my kids. I'm sorry. This kind of bill, yeah, I would have gone down in absolute flames if this kind of bill was there and it impacted me somehow. A counselor who testified against the bill said, it's apparent that one result of this bill will be the removal of trans-identified children from the family home. It feels like that's where we're headed, right? Trans, boop, done, out. You're out of a typical home, especially if that home has any kind of like conservative thoughts or whatever. In the dystopian nightmare we are in, if a parent doesn't use the child's chosen pronoun or name, they are labeled dangerous. Pamela Garfield Yeager said in her testimony, according to Daily Signal, we've just got so many attacks on the family structure. Man, I am glad I'm the age I am because I wouldn't have been able to sit still with this nonsense going on. This is crazy talk. This is literal crazy talk. What are we even doing here? Kind of letting our kids do whatever they want because of the whole trans thing. Yeah. All right. That's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. Love to have you subscribe, do all that stuff. Hopefully I won't be doing more podcasts on this, but unfortunately I live in Washington. You know it's coming. All right. There we go. We'll catch up with you in the next one. Bye for now.